Hey, this is the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, Impact Wrestling's newest star, and you are listening to Tapped Out Wrestling Interviews with Lewis Carlin.
Hello and welcome to Tapped Out Interviews. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin, and we're part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. And you can follow me on Twitter at Tapped Out Lewis. Very excited today because today is actually my 60th pro wrestling interview, and I couldn't have a better guest. He's the C4 champion. He's the Destiny Wrestling champion, and he was the best unsigned wrestler in the world, but he's no longer the best unsigned wrestler because he just signed a 3-year contract with Impact Wrestling. So he's the newest member of Impact Wrestling. Very happy to welcome one of the best in the world and one of my favorites, the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander. Josh, welcome back to the show, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Happy 60th episode.
Oh, thank you very much. And I couldn't ask for a better guest, man. You're one of the best in the world, and it's a pleasure having you on again.
Sweet, man. What was that last time? Like 40th, or wasn't that long ago? Was it?
No,
a few months?
It was a few months ago. Yeah, it was maybe 5-6 months ago. I think it was. I can't. I think it was about a month.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no. you did that. You're making me look bad, Josh. Thanks, man. But
that's all right.
It's okay. No, I think it was a month before the 60-minute Ironman match, maybe 2 months before that match with Kobe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I want to talk to you about that match because that was one of my favorite matches. But I just want to say it was a pleasure meeting you at PWA. I went to my first PWA show December 1st. As soon as I walked through the doors and looked to the right, and I'm like, holy crap, Josh Alexander is sitting right there. I could just walk up to Josh Alexander and shake his hand. That was an absolute thrill meeting him, man. And I love the Canadian strong style shirts, man. They're fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people seem to like those, so I'm very fortunate for that one.
Yeah, but actually, my wife is not a professional wrestling fan, and I have a lot of shirts. I have a lot of wrestling shirts, and she doesn't really care for them, but she likes the Canadian strong style shirt. I'm allowed to wear that when we go out with no problem, so I could wear that, and I got the hoodie, so she likes that shirt. So again, thanks, man. Thanks for producing a shirt that my wife likes.
I mean, that's a great compliment.
It is, man.
I mean, you want to kind of have a shirt, like the ones that always seem to catch on are the ones that you can kind of get away with wearing anywhere, where people have to ask you what it is more than knowing, like, it's a wrestling shirt, like the Bullet Club shirts and stuff like that. I think you can kind of get away with those in public.
Yeah, no.
But now you see them everywhere, like.
Yeah, no, I have Kobe. I have a Kobe Durst shirt, but it just says Durst shirt. And it was like, who's Durst? Who's Durst? What is that? What is? So I have to explain Kobe Durst, but Canadian strong style. That's really cool, man. Everybody's hip with that, man. But not first and foremost, but congratulations, man. You just signed that contract with Impact Wrestling. That's fantastic. So, you definitely deserve it, man. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, the outreach and congratulatory, like, posts and stuff on social media and people reaching out to me and calling me over the last week have been, it's quite overwhelming, but, yeah, I'm super happy about it, so.
Yeah, man, that's cool. So how did that all come about? Did you know Scott D'Amore was going to make the announcement in the ring during the Destiny Blackcraft show? But how did that all come about?
I honestly had no idea any of it was going to occur. It was an honestly spontaneous thing that kind of happened, and you know, I'm glad they did it. When Scott did the whole speech that he did, it's all over online. He got pretty emotional. I could see it in his eyes. And I don't know where it came from, because, like, honestly, like, I've known Scott off and on for over a decade now, and he's always been, like he says in his little speech there, that he's super hard on everybody from Ontario and Canada, because I think they almost represent, like, the area he came from and he's responsible for more, because he's a veteran from this area, right? So when he was saying all that, and then he started, like, kind of saying how far I've come and what I've done, because my story is kind of unique. He got a little choked up, and even me, as stoic as I am, I seem to show a little bit of emotion on my face during that moment. So it was really cool But yeah, I didn't have any idea. I came back from the match. I got a pretty big bump on the head during the match, and I was ready to lay down in the back on some ice. And all of a sudden, I hear Josh Alexander, get out here. I'm like, what? Like, they calling me? What? So like, yeah, I stumbled out, but yeah.
So
it was awesome.
Was there negotiations before that, or was that the negotiation right there in the ring?
No, we had spoken before that.
Okay.
And yeah, about everything, and that was honestly out of the blue as well. So yeah, but I had agreed in principle to a 3-year contract. That's and then great. We had never really spoken about it, and then everything happened in the ring.
It's fantastic. Like I said, it was a great moment, and once again, you definitely deserve that, man. And I think you're going to be absolutely fantastic in Impact Wrestling. So when do you officially begin? When do you officially begin with Impact?
The Windsor tapings, so they're taping television in the end of March. That's
fantastic because I'm going both nights, and I got ringside seats, so I'm looking forward to that, man. So I hope to see you there. I hope I could shake your hand again, man. I hope I can meet you.
Absolutely.
I'll be wearing the Canadian Strong Style hoodie, so I'll be supporting you 100%.
I'll be able to find you in the crowd then.
Okay. And if my wife's there, she'll probably be wearing her favorite wrestling shirt as well. So
awesome.
We'll be there. Yes, that's great. So now is this going to affect any of your indie appearances? Because I know you're a mainstay at Alpha One and C4 PWA. Are you still able to make the indie appearances, or are you going to have to slow down with those?
No, I'm able to make any indie appearances outside of my Impact obligations.
Okay.
So when the contract was signed and I got a list of dates, there are some conflicting dates that they're taping television and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I've already informed those companies and they completely understand. And there's companies like PWA and Alpha One and C4 that really, like, since I've been unable to go to America and make a living at this, they've really taken care of me and kept my schedule very busy and stuff like that. So, like, I'm going to make all the dates I can for them, first and foremost, just to kind of repay them for everything they did for me. So, yeah. And I love all those places. It's not like I'm going to skip out and go straight to America the second I get a visa, but.
Sure, man. No, I mean, Alpha One and C4 are two of my favorite promotions. And, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a bad Josh Alexander match. I've seen a lot of them with C4 and a lot of them Alpha One, and, PWA against El Reverso. We're going to talk about that, those two matches, shortly. But just fantastic stuff. Now, you've been with both A1 and C4 for such a long time. What is it about, those two promotions that have kept you with them for so long?
Well, Alpha One was the first promotion that really gave me an opportunity to work with, like, they've always booked storyline wrestling. And in independent wrestling, usually it's you show up, you're match 2, you're wrestling this guy, oh, you're a good guy, and it's 10 minutes long. It's all up to you. And like Alpha One, I'd show up and it'd be like, no, you're in this feud with Scotty O'Shea, and this is what we're doing this show to get to next show, and next show you have to prepare for this, and you have to do a promo on this, and like, it really helped me sink into actual, like, storyline based wrestling. And like, they started out with very small crowds and they built their way up to what they are now. And they've sustained that for over a decade. And same thing with C4. When C4 first started up, I wasn't booked for the first 2 years they were around, but even when I started, they were only drawing 50 to 100 people. And now they're at a point where they sustain, I think they've been turning away people at the door for over a year and a half now. So, drawing 600 people and booking me, like, these promotions, that the people that run them have reached out to me in the past week and they've congratulated me and everything, and like, I can't repay them enough and tell them, like, they're as much a part of it as I am, because they're the ones that gave me the opportunity for me to shine, like, to go against some of the best wrestlers in the world and show that I can compete and hang and I belong with them, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
So it only helped my brand and my stock for these people, these promotions doing what they did for me, so they're special for me.
Well, I've watched A1 and C4 on Powerbomb TV. Haven't actually been to a live show, but it's my goal in 2019 is to get to a live A1 show and a live C4 show. And I will get there. It's two great promotions, and you're a huge part of it. And congratulations, actually, just recently won the C4 title as well from Matt Angel. Any idea who you might be defending against first, by chance?
I have no idea. Okay. the C4's next show is actually on the same day as the Impact tapings,
Okay.
so I will not be in attendance for that to defend my championship. But
Okay.
I'll be back in April, and I'm sure they're going to give me someone good. I've been calling myself a gatekeeper at C4 for the better part of a year now, because anybody that comes in, whether it's Jeff Cobb or Keith Lee, they all have to face me first to show that they belong in C4. So I said I want the best in the world. I want to put Canada on the map as a wrestling hotbed, because I think we have a lot of talented people here and there's not enough eyes on us. There's a lot of eyes on American independent wrestling and the UK scene, and we need more eyes on Canada. So that's kind of been my goal. That's what I've said at Destiny, C4, Alpha 1. And the only way to do that is to book some of the best around the world that people want to watch and show that we can hang.
Well, that was a great match, though, against Keith Lee. You mentioned Keith Lee. That was a fantastic match. I love when you rip your head piece off and just hurl it at the other wrestler in anger. That's just a great moment. I know you've done that a few times, against Kobe Durst and Keith Lee. But I don't know, there's something about that. I just, I put when I see you do it, I put headphones on, I rip them off, and I throw them at somebody too. So, but that's, but that's, I don't know. I just love when you do that, man. That's a great part of the match. But back to Impact. Who are you hoping to work with right off the bat? I know you've had some history with Sami Callihan. That will be a good feud. I would love to see you against Killer Cross, Eli Drake. Is there anybody that you would like to start working with right off the bat?
Oh, everybody. I've had matches with Moose. I've never worked with Brian Cage. I've never worked with Morrison. I'd love to work with Sammy some more. Like, the whole list. But, like, even the X Division guys that you're talking about, like Desmond Xavier, Zachary Wentz, like, guys like this, like, for being a heavyweight, a 225-pound guy, I can move around pretty fast. And I'd like to show I can hang with those guys as well. So they have a lot of talent there. So, I couldn't even single out anybody.
Yes, you mentioned Moose. Moose tweeted something that was a little less than positive, and I know you responded to it. Is that the start of a possible feud there between you and Moose?
I mean, if he wants to try me, he can try me. But I've been around a little bit longer than Moose, even though he's been quite successful in a short period of time. But okay. I'm not going to let him. I'm not going to let him talk to me like that. Not now or ever. So.
Oh, yeah. I think Scott D'Amore chimed in and said he can arrange a meeting between you and Moose. So let's see what happens. That would be an interesting feud there to kick off your career with Impact Wrestling. Now Ethan Page is also with Impact Wrestling. Could we see the Monster Mafia possibly reunite, or are you hoping just to stay a solo wrestler?
I mean, I've said it in a ton of interviews over the past 5 to 7 years since we started the Monster Mafia. It's my favorite thing to do in professional wrestling. Okay. Just I love singles matches. I love doing stuff on my own, but when we tag up and when we're on, both of us, I don't think either of us have any more fun. So it would definitely be something I want to do if he's willing. So yeah, we'll have to see which way everything's going to go. But I honestly have no idea what plans are or anything like that. Okay. But I would definitely embrace it.
Okay. Awesome, man. So there are still people out there, now that you're with Impact Wrestling, there are still people out there calling Impact Wrestling a sinking ship. They're saying that they should fold already, which is absolutely ridiculous. Anytime somebody says that on Twitter, I always respond angrily. How do you respond to people that are still saying that to this day, even though Impact Wrestling is freaking amazing right now?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I can't respond to people like that. Because it's the same thing with any other topic in social media. There's always going to be, I guess you call them trolls, people that just want to be negative all the time. Yep. You look at these people's timelines sometimes, and all you see is it's just negative comment after negative comment. They're trying to get a rise out of people. They're trying to get attention. And honestly, I just don't respond to it. I don't give the attention that they want. So I obviously don't think it's a stinking ship. I just signed for 3 years, and. Yep. I hope to fulfill that whole 3-year commitment and then beyond some if everything goes well. So, I'm just excited to be part of the product. And
I know Eddie Edwards just re-signed, Falaba just re-signed, Sami Callihan just re-signed. So Impact's going nowhere. You'll be fulfilling that 3-year contract easily, and I'd love to see you with them for another 10, 15 years as well, because they're not going anywhere in Impact Wrestling. So what do you hope to accomplish in your first 3 years with Impact? You want to obviously Impact World Title, but what's your main goal for Impact Wrestling?
Oh, that would be the main goal. Any indie promotion I've stepped foot in, whether when I went to the States and it was AIW, IWC, AAW, within the first 1 to 2 years I was there, I won their championship. Every promotion I step foot in, it's just what I do. And it might not even be a goal when I show up there, but it's just organically what happens because just the type of professional wrestler I am, I guess. So even, I'd be silly to step foot in there and have any lower expectations for myself.
All right, and Scott D'Amore actually, he tweeted that there's going to be a talent exchange with MLW. Is there anyone in MLW that you'd like to work with if you're ever sent there? I don't know. I'd love to see you one-on-one with Barrington Hughes. I think that would be a decent match. You got Brian Pillman Jr. as well there. But is there anybody if they sent you there that you would like to work with?
I don't believe I ever had the chance of meeting him, although I might have when I was in the States years ago and I just forgot about it. But I'm a big fan of Manser.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of his stuff. I just find him insanely entertaining, and I think that we can mix it up and have a really good pro wrestling match. Him, and I'd like to go up against Harry Smith and Teddy Hart.
Okay.
Just showcase some Canadian professional wrestling.
Okay. All right, man. Awesome. And hopefully they'll send you there and we can get those matches, man. So you just defeated Simon Grimm. It's a Destiny Blackcraft show. So tell me about the match and your thoughts on Simon Grimm. You said Simon Grimm, yeah. So, you said you bumped your head. You hurt your head a little bit during that match, or?
Yeah, I had a big goose egg on the back of my head. I smoked it off the metal support beam in the ring.
Yikes.
But accidents and things happen. It's professional wrestling, as they say. It's not ballet or whatever, even though people that do ballet seem to go through an insane amount of pain. But Simon Grimm, I had somebody else ask me this after the match, and all I can say is if you watch Simon Grimm in NXT or WWE and that was how you were judging him as a professional wrestler, you would have no idea how good he is. He is you would think he's just an entertainment piece, and he's everything but that. He's a pro wrestling savant. He loves this. He knows every style and every single thing, and it's just it's really good to get in there and tie up with somebody that loves wrestling, and he loves every aspect of professional wrestling. So it was a blast. He's definitely hard hitting, and he's really good at his catch can. But yeah, it was a good first defense for me.
All right. Any idea who the second defense might be against? I know I asked you about C4, but I know Georgie Iceman likes to announce these matches pretty quickly. But is there anything coming up for you with Destiny?
I know they have a Mania weekend show with Fight Club Pro. If I'm lucky enough to be able to enter the country by then, I will be there in some capacity.
Okay.
I do not know who I would be facing, and because it's all hypothetical at the moment, but and then I know he has a show coming back at the start of April, and I don't know. I know he's announced Billy Gunn and Gangrel for that show so far. It's kind of a throwback show. He wants fans to kind of dress up as their favorite wrestler and stuff like that. So I could be facing somebody a little bit unorthodox, somebody from a D'Lo Brown or somebody, but honestly, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, man. So actually on January 20th for Destiny, you defeated Pete Dunne for the Destiny title. But I also that same afternoon you faced Logan James for Alpha One Wrestling. Were you worried at all that, you have a huge match with Pete Dunne in the evening, but you took a match against Logan James in the afternoon? Are you worried about getting injured during that afternoon match that would prevent you from facing Pete Dunne? Or, what are your thoughts going into that? Does Georgie Iceman saying, hey, be careful, don't get hurt because you got a big match tonight there? What do you think?
Yeah, other people were concerned. About me and my well-being, but if I go into any wrestling match and I'm worried about getting hurt, I'm going to get hurt.
Okay.
like, honestly, it's just the way it happens. It's always like a victim of circumstance, and I never go into a wrestling match thinking I'm going to get hurt.
Okay.
And like, sure, it happens from time to time, but like, I just had to treat that day business as usual. If it was any other show, I would wrestle 3 times in a day, 4 times in a day.
Okay.
If the opportunity arose. So why would I treat that day any differently than what I've been used to for the past 13 years?
Sure, that's fair enough. And like, you have sometimes your schedule could get really crazy. I was looking at some of your matches. I'm thinking, how does he maintain the schedule? Like, for example, January 24th, you're in Toronto, a 5-way match. January 25th, you're out to Ottawa. You won the C4 title. Then January 26th, you come back, and you're taking on El Reverso in a last man standing match, which I was in attendance for. But like, how do you maintain that schedule? Well, you must have been hurting on the 27th. You must have slept like a baby on the 27th.
I mean, I wish I slept like a baby. Unfortunately, okay. I have a baby.
Okay.
So
sure.
I don't sleep as well as I used to, but
okay.
Honestly, like the first couple of years, you'd be tired and I'd sleep until 1 p.m. every day and just try to recover. But like, I've had so many reps doing this, and I've literally done trips to Chicago, which is 9 hours southwest, and then I have to go straight to Ottawa the next day, which is like 15 hours the other direction, and then I've had to do 6 hours in the middle of the night home to get to a show the next day.
Wow.
That was more local. So like something like you just described, which is just Toronto to Ottawa and back, it seems like nothing in comparison to stuff like that. Or when I got booked for Ring of Honor and I had to drive to Minnesota, which is 17 hours away.
Wow.
And stuff like that. It's what pro wrestlers do. If you want to do this, like the guys that are on TV for WWE, they're night in, night out. They go to a taping, they drive 300 miles, they go to a house show, then they drive 300 miles, they go to another house show.
Okay.
It's the business we're in, and you gotta love every aspect of it, or at least, be okay with it. So, my body's become accustomed to it, to be honest.
All right, man. Cool. And I know sometimes I'm traveling 2-3 hours to drive to a show, and I'm complaining about it. But now I'm not going to complain anymore. After listening to that, you're driving 17 hours to go work a show. So I'm getting out to C4 out in Ottawa as soon as I can, man. I'm driving out there. If you guys could do it, the fans could do it too. And I want to see a C4 show, so I'm gonna head out there as well. Seaway Valley Wrestling. Actually, you were with Seaway Valley Wrestling, a new promotion against Sheldon Jean. I haven't seen the match yet, but I heard it was really good. What are your thoughts on that promotion? It was the second show that they've done that you were on. But what's your thoughts on there, and will you be going back there?
I'll be back there in April, okay. I believe. Their next show is April. I'm pretty sure it's April. I don't have my schedule in front of me, but yeah, I'll be back there. I mean, the promoter treated me great going up to the show. Arriving at the show, I saw they had an amazing production value, a really nice venue. They took care of the boys in the dressing room, and they packed the house. So, like, what more can a professional wrestler ask for? Not only am I at a great show where people are treating me like a professional wrestler, but I'm at a show that is full of fans. They've done their job promoting, so I couldn't ask for more from a promotion. I think it's a nice little spot. It's kind of in a place where they haven't had a lot of wrestling over the years.
Okay.
So it's nice.
Yeah, no, I've actually had the owner, Al, was on, I interviewed him, he was on the show, and he's invited me out there, so hopefully I can get out there as well. So that's another 9-hour drive, but I'm gonna take a road trip one day. I'm gonna hit up all these promotions. It's at one point during this summer, I'm just going to say goodbye to the family, jump in the car, and just head out there. And I'll tell them I'll see them in a few weeks. I'm going to a wrestling show.
Well, you won't be disappointed. So.
No, not at all, man. It's I love professional wrestling. You guys are the greatest entertainers and the greatest athletes in the world. So it's been a fan since 1978. Absolutely love. There's nothing better than attending a professional wrestling show. Period. And that's my thought on that, man. So I was in the crowd. 2 incredible matches for PWA against El Reverso, and that last man standing match. I don't know how he was able to walk away from that. And I spoke to him afterwards, and he drove home. El Reverso drove home after that. He lives in Windsor as well, and he was a bit sore. He told me, but that was absolutely incredible. What are your thoughts on those 2 matches? And are we going to see any more Josh Alexander El Reverso matches? Because they were just absolutely fantastic.
As for seeing any more Josh Alexander El Reverso matches in PWA, that's completely up to him.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, it's all squashing behind us because I've beaten him twice in a row now. But yeah, that would be up to him. If he's complaining that he was sore, I mean, maybe he's a sore loser. But my eye was split wide open, and I was in a Shoppers Drug Mart super gluing it shut before I got home. So,
oh my gosh, yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, I've seen you live 3 times, and twice you've been split open. Once to Sammy Callahan with the garbage can, and with El Reverso, he cut your eyebrow open. But I gotta hand it to you, man. You could have just gone to the back, got dressed, and left, but you went right back to the merch table. You shook everybody's hand with the blood coming down your eye. Yeah, I gotta hand it to you, man. You stuck around and still spoke with people. So that was fantastic, man.
Yeah, like to some people, even my wife, it's a little extreme, but like when stuff like that happens, like if you look at me, if you look real close, I'm covered in scars from professional wrestling.
Okay.
So like anytime I get a new one, it doesn't really affect me. I don't see it as a big deal. After breaking my neck, nothing really, everything pales in comparison.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, like the last man standing match, I think it was something special for Kitchener, especially. PWA, they don't usually get to see stuff that's that intense, and that, I think it was something real that would garner some real emotion out of people.
Oh, yeah.
And, I personally like to push the envelope on blurring the lines between what's real and what's obviously staged.
Sure.
For professional wrestling. So yeah, it was a blast. I think he's a really talented dude. He just, like a lot of us, just, it's all the right place, right time scenario. So he'll get his due eventually. He just has to keep plugging away at it.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was fantastic match, man. And again, I do hope we get more matches with you and El Reverso. But there's another guy that I think you have tremendous chemistry with, and you were involved with him in one of my favorite matches, the 16-minute Ironman match, Kobe Durst, man. That was absolutely freaking phenomenal. I could watch that match over and over again, I know unfortunately you lost, but Durst being down 3-0, then comes back and gets 4 straight falls. That was just so amazing, that match. Why do you think you and Kobe Durst have such great chemistry together?
I honestly have no idea.
Okay.
When you know the humble beginnings of Kobe Durst, correct?
I do not.
The Marty Michaels days.
Oh, okay.
So when Kobe first started wrestling, I think he was like 13 or 14.
Okay.
And his mother, as he refers to her as only mother, not my mom, his mother, would drive him to professional wrestling training, which was 4.5 hours away from where they lived. They would come all the way to Toronto on a Saturday, and you get to train for the day as a young teenager. And he would do these promos like he was Marty Jannetty from 1991 in full tassels and tie-dye gear and all this other stuff. Okay. And like I'd look at him and I'd be like, man, this guy is... I'm never going to wrestle this guy. Like, there's a 0% chance like we're ever going to have chemistry or anything like that. And then I remember he moved down here when he was like 19. He got further trained and all this stuff, and he threw away the tie-dye gear and he just decided to be Kobe Durst. And I think somebody else had given him Diamond Tiger at the time, and he still didn't even know what that was. I still personally don't know what it is.
Okay.
But, it's a catchy thing to say. But, yeah, we had Alpha One had a kind of pros versus Joe show, which was like the more established guys wrestling newer kids on a pre-show before the main show.
Okay.
To give them an opportunity to shine. And I remember me and Kobe went out there, and it was just like stuff you'd see in the Iron Man match. Like it blurred the lines between what's real and stage, like I said before. And we've kind of always been able to do that together Granted, he's kind of always been the punching bag, but you know, he's good at fighting from behind and coming from behind, like you just said. Like, he came up back from 3-0.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm fortunate to have opponents like that. People that, you know, can feed off me and I can feed off. Because some people I've wrestled, like, when I've gotten in the ring with a lot of younger guys, a lot of times they're intimidated. No matter how much, you know, I try to reassure them everything's going to be fine, they're intimidated. So it ends up just being a match that we're trying to get through rather than something that's real and something that's enjoyable. And Kobe, I don't know if it's, honestly, like, I think Kobe's a little dumb sometimes.
Okay.
And I just don't think he knows any better. So okay. I don't think he knows to be intimidated or to fear anything that happens in a wrestling ring. So he's just, as you've seen with other people, he's kind of dumb. He just jumps off of stuff and does whatever he wants. He's got a reckless abandon for himself. So yeah, he's definitely a good opponent for me in that regard.
Yeah. And you had another 60-minute Ironman match recently against Holden Albright. How do you compare the two? Two completely different wrestlers, but how do you compare the two Ironman matches? And how do you prepare for an Ironman match?
I'm always ready for an Ironman match because it was like, I want to say 9 years ago. I've always had good cardio in the ring for my size, especially because I used to be 300 pounds in high school and I played basketball.
Okay.
So carrying around all that weight and being able to do cardio and stuff like that. But when I lost weight, it just became that much easier. But, yeah, 8 or 9 years ago, I'd read a thing that every day, Ric Flair would do 60 minutes on the road, twice on Sunday, or every day in the hotel. Like, Arn Anderson would wake up and he'd go to the hotel gym and he'd see Ric Flair on the stairs, or he'd see him doing Hindu squats every morning, even though he was out all night drinking. And I'd be like, man, I don't drink, but like, I can do the cardio portion. So I've been doing hours upon hours on the stairs for years now. And I think that really helps my cardio and my ability to push through, because if you're walking on stairs after 10, 15 minutes, everything goes numb and you just got to keep pushing. And, it's just kind of a test it's more a mental test than it is anything. Okay. And that's the same thing that would happen in an Ironman match. Like, it tests you more mentally than it would physically. Okay. So, and as for Holden compared to Kobe, I describe Holden in the exact same way. When I first saw Holden, I remember I trained with him a little bit and I did some chain wrestling, and I told him that day, I was like, I don't know if you're ever going to have a match, man. Like, you have a long way to go, because just like some people, you tell them one thing and they get it immediately. And Holden wasn't that type of guy. I just knew that there was a lot of work that needed to be done for him to be able to have a wrestling match. And to his credit, fully, he's done the work and then some, because he's one of the best professional wrestlers in Ontario now.
Okay.
And he wanted to test himself in an Ironman match with me. I put out the challenge at Crossbody last year. I said, I'll have an Ironman match every show if people want to show up and do it. And Holden was the only one in a year that was willing to do an Ironman match with me. So, I mean, that says a lot about him, right?
All right, man. Yeah, I'm a big Holden fan. When I first saw him come out with the wolf mask, I was a little like, what is this? But he does a good job. I like Holden. He's really, really good in the ring. He's going to be on, in a few days as well. He's going to be interview 61. So, nice. I'm looking forward to talking to Holden. Now that
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just one more thing about Holden. Like a lot of guys, like, I'll tell them things. And I'll say, like, you don't have to do this, but this is just my opinion. And they just, oh yeah, okay. And like, whether they do it or not, it's none of my business. But like Holden, he'll always want to know, like, why did I say that? And like, why does this mean this? And like, he's actually retaining everything. Like, he's asking other people questions, not just me. Like, he's trying to improve at every corner. And like, that's just the work you have to do. Like, I understand when guys are like 3-4 years in, they get a little shine, they get a little success, and then all of a sudden they think they're the best and they start buying their own hype, because like, I was guilty of that when I was 4 or 5 years in. But like there was a point where I got humbled by other people because I realized that no, I'm not nearly as good as I thought I was. And like Holden's just got a really level mind to know exactly who he is and where he is, and knows that he's working hard, and he's just kept up the work. So, I mean, I'm proud of him.
Yeah, man, he's definitely a very, very talented wrestler, and I'm looking forward to seeing many, many live Holden Albright matches. I wanted to go to the 60-minute Ironman match with you guys, but I wasn't able to, unfortunately. And I know there's no way to see that. There's no way to see that anywhere on YouTube or anything like that, is there? That the match with Holden?
Crossbody, they'll upload it to YouTube eventually. Okay. I don't know when.
Okay. All right. I'll keep my my eyes peeled for that one, man. So now that you're no longer the best unsigned wrestler, who do you think is the best unsigned wrestler right now?
In Canada or in the world?
Let's say Canada. I know you got Marcus Burke out in the Maritimes who claims he's the best. But who do you think is the best?
Oh man. Man, I wouldn't even know. Like, I mean, I would completely disagree with Marcus Burke thinking he's the, because that'll just bother him some more. But, I personally, I know a couple people that like, there's just, I think David Starr is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Okay.
And he's not signed to anybody.
Okay.
Like, he's the guy that pops up in my head right away. There's a lot of guys that, As for Canadian talent, like, I just don't know who stands out as, like, because it's like Ethan Page would be the guy I'd jump on right away. Maybe someone like Tarek.
Okay.
But then again, I don't see Tarek on a regular basis, so.
Okay. Well, nothing bad against Marcus Burke.
I personally know that, like, before they were going to be the best unsigned talent in Canada, it was Tyson.
Okay.
So maybe it just reverts right back to Tyson or
Tyson
Psycho Mike or someone like that. But,
okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Now, nothing against Marcus Burke. He's a tremendous talent, but I was speaking with Dr. Bob, announcer for C4. We were doing a show together, and we were talking about who the best unsigned wrestler in Canada is, and Marcus Burke's name came up, but I was like, no, it's Josh Alexander, 100%, and Dr. Bob agreed. But nothing against Marcus Burke. If he's listening, you're a very talented wrestler. Don't get upset with me, please. You're very, very talented.
No, if he's listening, everything against Marcus Burke. If he's listening.
Okay. All right, man. Actually, I have a friend of mine out in the UK. He works for the Pro Wrestling Journal. He wanted me to ask you a question. So he just wants to know when will the UK fans see Monster Mafia back at Southside or Kamikaze Pro?
I don't know about Monster Mafia. I know that I've spoken with Southside, and they said I'll be coming back sometime this year. Whether that materializes or not, who knows? But, I don't know if Ethan Page would go out again or if our schedules would align enough for that to happen, but I would love for it to happen.
All right, cool. And I think I asked you this the last time, but a few months have gone by, and I'll ask you this, and then we can wrap it up. To this day, who is your favorite opponent? I can't remember who you said last time, but I know a lot of time has passed, although maybe there's somebody new. But who is your favorite opponent?
Well, I think I said Elgin last time, probably. Elgin's the guy that pops into my head right away.
Yep.
And as, Malcolm Gladwell said in Blink, like your gut instinct, your first pick's usually the best one.
All right, there you go.
So I have to go with Elgin.
Okay, there you go. Awesome. Well, Josh, man, I want to say a huge congratulations again for signing that contract. And I know I said it many times on social media and here, but you absolutely deserve it, man. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck in Impact Wrestling. I'm looking forward to those tapings. Like I said, I'll have my Canadian Strong Style hoodie on. And if is there anything you want to plug right now? I know you have the t-shirts, any social media. If you want to plug anything right now, go ahead and plug it, and then we can wrap it up.
Just follow me on Twitter and Instagram at walking_weapon, and from now on, follow Impact Wrestling, and I'll do my best to show that Canadian wrestling is alive and strong.
All right, man. Again, man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I know this is the second time, and I would love to have you on again and again and again. I'm a huge fan. You're one of my absolute favorites in the world. And again, I wish nothing but the best of luck, man.
Thank you.
My pleasure, man. Well, this has been Tapped Out Interviews, the 60th episode, the 60th interview, actually, of Tapped Out Interviews. And again, I want to thank my guest, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.